Boss fired me, wife cheated, my revenge burned. My boss fired me for being too old school. My wife was hiding secrets with my rival. That was the moment I stopped playing their pawn. If this story moved, you don't forget to like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Viora for more unforgettable stories that speak to the heart. I'm Landon Vickers, 52, lead systems engineer in Boise, Idaho. 18 years at Cascade Properties, a real estate firm, turned me into the guy who kept their tech empire running. I built their system from scratch: databases, tenant portals, automated maintenance for 70 complexes across 3 states. Not a tech mogul, but solid $180,000 a year, a ranch-style house, a Ford F-150, and a life with my wife, Renee, 40. She's a property manager, quick-witted with a smile that could close any deal. 12 years married, no kids, but we were a team. Her leasing apartments, me wiring Cascade's backbone. I thought my code was unbreakable. Then Nathan Brewer, 47, the new CTO, walked in and gutted my world. It started quiet. Nathan, a Silicon Valley hotshot, swaggered into Cascade with algorithms and a corner office. He called my systems relics in boardrooms, smirking. I'd engineered $15 million in operational efficiency through custom code, not cloud fads, but Nathan wanted agile innovation. Younger coders, lower salaries. I caught him eyeing my desk, my projects. Then Renee started slipping. Late nights at her complexes. Phone buzzing, always face down. Tenant issues, she'd say, eyes flickering. I found a $700 receipt for a Boise wine bar we'd never visited. Work dinner. She shrugged. My gut churned. But my systems were my fortress, so I buried the doubt. Betrayal creeps like rust. By summer, Nathan's overhaul hit. He called me in, tie undone, grin sharp. Jason, you're out. We need lean talent. Cheaper. 18 years and he sacked me like I was scrap code. You're a floppy disk in a cloud era, he sneered. I signed the severance, walked out, his chuckle trailing. My team coders I'd trained stared silent. I kept my chin up, but inside I was unraveling. Home wasn't a haven. Renee was distant, her touches brief. One night her laptop was open on the counter. I wasn't prying, just shutting it. An email flashed. From Ricky Stanton, 49, Cascade's biggest vendor, a security contractor I'd vetted for years. Last night was magic. Nathan's plans rolling. My chest caved. I scrolled. Messages dozens. You're my fire, Ricky wrote. A photo of Renee, an address I didn't recognize, his arm around her. A $4,000 hotel bill. 12 years, and she'd rewritten me out. I shut the laptop, hands trembling. Renee slept upstairs, her hair fanned across the pillow. I wanted to barge in, demand truth, but I didn't. I strategized. I called my buddy Vince Harlow, 53, a tech lawyer who'd seen every corporate knife fight. We met at a coffee shop, steam rising. Jason, you sure? Vince asked, sipping black coffee. Renee's cheating with Ricky. Nathan's plotting something. I need proof. Vince scribbled a name. Tara Flynn, P.I. She's a bloodhound. Costs, but she's worth it. I pocketed it, resolve hardening. Tara was a force, late 40s, eyes like lasers. We met in her office, monitors humming. What do you want, Vickers? She asked. The truth. Renee's lies. Ricky's game. Nathan's endgame. She nodded. 10 days. Act normal. Normal. Like I could with my marriage and career in ashes. I played the role. Kissed Renee goodbye. Cleared my desk at Cascade. Nodded when Nathan bragged about modernization. But every glance was a lie. Tara worked fast. Her first report hit my inbox, photos of Renee and Ricky at a Boise rooftop lounge, her lips brushing his. Bank records showing $25,000 drained from our savings, moved to a new account in her name. Emails between Nathan and Ricky planning to outsource my systems to Ricky's firm, skimming profits. The worst, Ricky wasn't just Renee's lover, he was Nathan's ally, using my trust to sabotage Cascade's tech. My code, my life hacked. I sat in my truck, rain pounding the windshield, reading Tara's file. This wasn't just a revenge story, it was a digital coup. I could have confronted Renee, blown it open, but I'm sharper than that. I called Vince. Set up a meeting with Cascade's board, I said. I've got something they need to see. Vince hesitated. This is war, Jason. Ready, I gripped the phone. They broke me. I'm rebuilding. The board meeting was days away. I didn't tell Renee I'd be there. She thought I was jobless, drifting. I stood outside Cascade Steel headquarters watching Nathan pitch my systems to clients I'd secured. My heart ached for the man I'd been. Then Tara called. Got more, she said. Audio. Nathan and Ricky at a vendor meet. They're planning to crash your systems, blame you. I listened in my garage tools silent. Nathan's voice smug. Jason's code is ours. Renee's the key. My blood boiled. I sent it to Vince. This goes to the board, I said. And the vendors. The first twist hit like a power surge. Tara traced the new account to a shell company linked to a Cascade board member, Gregory Langston, 60. Nathan had promised him a cut of Ricky's outsourcing deal if my systems were replaced. Renee wasn't just cheating, she was a cog in a corporate machine. I met Tara at a diner, dawn breaking. What's next, I asked. She sipped coffee, eyes sharp. Confront her now, it's messy, or rewrite their code better. I leaned back, mind racing. Renee thought I'd stay silent. Nathan thought he'd won. Gregory thought he owned the board. They were wrong. Let's crash their system, I said, voice like steel. Vince filed a whistleblower report with the board attaching Tara's evidence. I hired a forensic accountant, Rachel Monroe, 42, to dig into our finances. $200,000 gone over 12 years, savings, bonuses, property expenses. My life's work funneled into Renee's lies. Rachel's report was a blade. You've got her, she said, handing it over. They're done. But they weren't. Renee came home, eyes red. Jason, we need to talk, she said, voice trembling. I let her in, wary. She sat twisting her ring. I messed up. Ricky's. Not worth it. I'm scared. My heart tugged, old love lingering. Then her phone buzzed. Ricky's name, a text. Keep him quiet. She was playing me. Again. Get out, I said, voice cold. She blinked, shocked. Jason, please out. She fled, purse clutched. I exhaled the air heavy. No more games. I called Vince. Send everything to the board. Now. The next day I walked into the board's office, Rachel's report in hand. The chair, Dr. Clara Benton, 57, skimmed it, jaw tight. This is fraud, she said. Fraud, I said, leaning in. It's betrayal. Tell Nathan his empire's on the line. Benton nodded, shaken. I walked out, sunlight hitting my face. I was in control. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. A man's voice, rough. Back off, Vickers. You're digging your grave. Click. My pulse raced. Nathan, it had to be. I locked the house, checked the cameras. Nothing. But the threat lingered. This wasn't just about Renee anymore. Nathan, Ricky, and Gregory were coming for me, and I was ready to fight. Nathan's threat rang like a klaxon in my skull. You're digging your grave, he'd hissed. Sleep was a ghost. My Boise house, once my stronghold, felt like a target. Every headlight, every creak set my nerves on edge. But I wasn't backing down. I'm Landon Vickers, and I'd coded Cascade Properties' empire from nothing. No way was I letting Nathan Brewer, Ricky Stanton, or Gregory Langston delete my legacy. Dawn broke cold and sharp. I called Tara, my PI, voice taut. Nathan's threatening me. Track his every move. Tara was all steel. He's rattled Jason. We're close. I'll dig into his network. Next, I hit up Rachel, the forensic accountant. What's new on the money trail, I asked. She didn't pause. Renee's sloppy. Another $30,000 moved last night. Offshore account, Caymans. I'm tracing the owner. My jaw clenched. Offshore. This wasn't just a cheating wife, it was a corporate heist. I drove to Cascade's headquarters, the glass facade mocking my exile. The lot buzzed with my old team coders. I'd mentored, their glances heavy with loyalty. But I wasn't there to mourn. I needed to think. Renee, Nathan, Ricky, they weren't just sabotaging my systems. They were erasing my life's work, the code I'd bled for. 18 years of skipped vacations, late-night debugging, and a bad back gone. I wasn't letting that stand. Midday, Vince called. Dr. Benton's on edge, he said. Your report's got the board in a frenzy. They want to meet tomorrow. You good? I gripped the phone. Good, I'm ready to burn this down. But Vince's voice dropped. Jason, heads up. Benton mentioned Gregory Langston. He's got investors in his pocket. You know him. My stomach twisted. Gregory, the board member with the tycoon's grin, always hovering near Nathan at conferences. Too close. Yeah, I said low. I know him. That afternoon, Tara sent a new file. Photos of Renee and Ricky at a Boise steakhouse, her hand on his wrist. Gregory was there sipping whiskey, eyes calculating. My blood boiled. Ricky was the affair, but Gregory was the architect. If he was funding this, it was bigger than a revenge story. But why me? My systems were critical, not a tech giant's fault. What was Gregory's play? No time to guess. My phone buzzed. Text unknown number. Check your garage. My pulse spiked. I strode to the house, heart hammering. A plain envelope, no stamp. Inside a USB drive and a note. They're not invincible. Use it. No signature. I should have called Tara, but curiosity burned. In my home office, I plugged in the drive. A video loaded. Grainy footage of Nathan and Gregory in a hotel bar arguing. Nathan jabbed a finger. You said Vickers was out. Gregory's voice was ice. He is. Renee's the leverage. Keep her in line. The video cut out. My hands shook. Leverage. Renee wasn't just cheating. She was Gregory's pawn, and I was the mark. But who sent the USB ally rival? I forwarded it to Tara. Find out who's tailing Nathan, I said. Someone's playing both sides. She didn't flinch. On it. But Jason Gregory's connected. Old money, dirty hands. This could get dicey. Dicey was my turf. I debugged crashes, outsmarted hackers, even saved a system during a 17 outage. But this was personal. I met Vince at his office, showed him the video. His face darkened. Gregory's a shark. If he's in Renee's not just unfaithful, she's trapped. I leaned forward. Then we cut the net. File fraud charges. Hit them all. Vince hesitated. That's a big swing, Jason. Sure, I met his eyes. They stole my code, my life. I'm done playing defense. That night, I couldn't stay home. Renee's perfume lingered, a ghost of our past. I drove to a bar, ordered a bourbon. The burn steadied me. Then I saw her, not Renee, but Rachel, the accountant. She was at a corner table nursing a vodka tonic. Mind if I join? I asked. She smirked. Only if you're buying. We talked her divorce, my early days coding. For an hour, I forgot the fight. But as I left, she grabbed my arm. Jason, be careful. That offshore account, it's Gregory's. Renee's not the brains, she's the bait. Bait. The word hit like a server crash. Renee wasn't just a cheater, she was Gregory's tool. But why me? My systems weren't a goldmine. The answer came at dawn. Tara called, voice urgent. Jason, I found the USB source. Ex-employee of Gregory's fired last month. Name's Lisa Callahan, 41. She's got dirt, extortion, bribery. Wants to meet. I didn't hesitate. Set it up. Lisa was a wreck, chain smoking in a diner booth. Gregory wants Cascade's contracts, she said, eyes darting. Your systems were the key to his new firm. Renee's affair was his leverage. My fists clenched, and Lisa snorted. Nathan's a puppet. Gregory pays him to keep Renee hooked. But she's breaking. She called me begging for help. I leaned in. Help. Why's she still playing? Lisa's eyes met mine. Gregory's got leverage, photos from her past, before you. The air vanished. Renee's 20s were rough. She'd partied hard, ran with a bad crowd. But blackmail. That was low. Part of me wanted to save her, pull her out. But the part that had seen her with Ricky knew better. She'd chosen this. I slipped Lisa $700. Stay safe, I said. She nodded, already gone. The board meeting was hours away. I walked in, Vince at my side, Lisa's words burning. Renee was there, pale eyes red. Nathan sat beside her, smirking. Benton cleared her throat. Jason, reconsider. We value your systems. I laughed cold. Systems? She stole my savings. He stole my code. I tossed Lisa's affidavit on the table, detailing Gregory's scheme. Nathan's smirk vanished. Renee gasped. Jason. I didn't save it, I snapped. You erased me. For him. I pointed at Nathan, who shifted, eyes narrow. Then the twist. Benton's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, paled. We need to pause, she said, voice shaky. The board got a tip. Feds are looking into Gregory. Fraud, insider trading. Renee's eyes widened. Nathan shot up. This is bullshit, I said, voice like ice. You're next. The room froze. Benton adjourned, promising to regroup. Renee grabbed my arm as I left. Jason, I'm sorry. I didn't know it'd go this far. I shook her off. You knew enough. Outside, Vince clapped my shoulder. You rattled them, but Gregory's not done. I nodded, scanning the street. A black SUV idled, tinted windows. Trouble. I called Tara. Check Gregory's movements. He's not backing off. She didn't sugarcoat it. He's not. Got a hit on his phone. He's meeting Nathan tonight. Industrial Park. You want in? I gripped the phone. Hell yes. That night I parked a block from the Industrial Park. Tara's directions locked in. Rain slicked the pavement, streetlights buzzing. Nathan's car was there next to a Lincoln. Gregory's. Voices echoed inside a warehouse. I crept closer, phone recording. Nathan was yelling. You said Vickers was gone. Now the feds are sniffing. Gregory's voice was smooth, deadly. Relax. Renee's the fall guy. She'll take the hit. My blood boiled. They were framing her. After everything, she was their scapegoat. Then it went sideways. A flashlight beam hit me. Who's there? A third voice, not Nathan's or Gregory's. I froze. Footsteps. I bolted, ducking behind a crate. The beam swept past. My phone buzzed. Tara. Get out. Gregory's got muscle. Too late. A hand grabbed my collar, yanked me up. A guy 6'4", built like a tank. Wrong place, he growled. I swung, caught his jaw. He staggered. Pain exploded in my ribs as he hit back. I hit the ground, vision swimming. Headlights. A car screeched up. Tara. She leapt out, pepper spray in hand. Back off, she shouted. The guy hesitated, ran. Tara hauled me up. You're a fool, she muttered, shoving me into her car. We peeled out, rain blurring the windshield. What'd you hear? She asked. I coughed, ribs screaming. They're setting Renee up. Gregory's the kingpin. Tara's jaw tightened. Then we take him down. Back home, I iced my ribs, mind racing. Renee, Nathan, Gregory, a hydra, each head uglier. But Lisa's tip, Tara's hustle, Rachel's evidence, it was stacking up. I wasn't just fighting for my code anymore. This was about justice. Rachel called. Big news. That offshore account tied to Gregory's shell company. Tax evasion laundering. I sent it to the feds. I grinned, pain be damned. You're a genius. She laughed. Just doing my job. But Jason, Renee's been calling me. She's scared. Nathan's unhinged. I didn't answer. Renee's fear didn't sway me. She'd made her bed. Then the final twist. My home security pinged. Footage from last night, someone tampering with my server backups in the garage. I zoomed in. Nathan. He wasn't just threatening me, he was sabotaging my legacy. I called Vince, Tara, Rachel. We end this. Now. The plan was simple: bait. Nathan, catch him red-handed, tie him to Gregory. But as I hung up, my phone buzzed. Renee. A voicemail. Jason, I'm at the data center. Nathan's here. He's losing it. Help! Her voice broke raw with fear. I stared at the phone. The data center, my old fortress where I'd coded Cascade's heart. Now a trap. Or was it Renee had lied before? But that panic, it was real. I grabbed my keys. This wasn't about saving her. This was about finishing it. Renee's voicemail clawed at me as I roared toward Cascade's data center, Boise's lights streaking past. Nathan's here. He's losing it. Help. My ribs ached from the warehouse brawl, but adrenaline burned through. The data center was 30 minutes out, a concrete bunker housing my life's code. Our battleground, now a potential trap. I didn't trust Renee, not after her affair with Ricky Stanton, her lies, but that fear in her voice was raw. Trap or not, I was ending this tonight. I called Tara's speakerphone, hissing. Renee's at the data center with Nathan. She says he's unraveling. I'm going in. Tara's voice cut sharp. Jason, wait for me. I'm calling the police. I shook my head. No time. Just get there. I dialed Vince next. Nathan's at the data center. Renee's in trouble. Maybe. If I don't make it, use Rachel's evidence. Bury Gregory. Vince's tone was heavy. Don't be reckless, Jason. I laughed, bitter. Too late. The data center's floodlights pierced the dark, casting shadows across the lot. Nathan's car was parked askew, Renee's sedan beside it. No Lincoln, no Gregory Langston. Yet, I parked 100 yards back, grabbed a wrench from my truck. Not a gun, but it'd do. My phone buzzed. Rachel. Feds are moving on Gregory. Warrants out. Stay safe. I pocketed it, crept toward the side door, my old access code still active. Voices spilled from the server room. Renee desperate. This wasn't the plan, Nathan's growl cut through. You wanted the deal. Now we fix this. My grip tightened. Fix what, me, her? Both. I slipped inside the hum of servers, masking my steps. Renee stood by a rack, arms crossed, eyes wild. Nathan paced a crowbar and hand sweat dripping. He looked like a man on the edge. Then the first twist. A door slammed, Gregory striding in suit, pristine eyes cold. My stomach dropped. He wasn't just pulling strings, he was here to burn the evidence. I ducked behind a server tower, pulse racing. Gregory's voice was silk. "You're late, Brewer." Vickers still breathing. "End it." Renee's face paled. "Gregory?" "No." We agreed. Gregory smirked. "Agreements change." I had seconds. The emergency exit was close, but I wasn't running. I edged nearer, wrench-heavy, staying in the shadows. Nathan ranted. "Vickers has got evidence. Feds are closing in." Gregory laughed cold. "You're the liability, Brewer. You and her." Renee gasped. "You promised." "I promised a payout," Gregory cut in. "You delivered Vickers' systems. Now you're done." My blood boiled. Renee wasn't just a pawn, she was expendable. But I wasn't here to save her. I was here to end their game. I crept closer, heart hammering. Renee saw me, her eyes flickering. Nathan caught it, spun, crowbar raised. "Vickers." I dove behind a rack as he swung, metal clanging. Renee screamed. Gregory cursed. "Not here, you fool!" Chaos erupted. I lunged, swinging the wrench. It caught Nathan's arm, and the crowbar skidded across the floor. He roared, tackling me. We crashed into a server, sparks flying. My ribs screamed as he landed a punch. I kneed his gut, rolled free, grabbing the crowbar. "Freeze!" I shouted, aiming at Gregory. Gregory raised his hands, smirking. "You won't swing, Vickers. You're not that guy." I stepped closer, crowbar steady. "Keep talking." Renee sobbed, backed against a wall. "Jason, I didn't mean quiet." I snapped eyes on Gregory. Sirens wailed, red and blue flashing outside. Tara had come through. Nathan froze, panting. Gregory's smirk faded. "You're done," I said. "Feds have your accounts, your scam, everything." The second twist hit like a system crash. Renee lunged not at me, but at Gregory. She grabbed a laptop, smashing it against his shoulder. "You ruined me." Gregory staggered, blood trickling from his brow. "You're nothing." Her outburst gave me the edge. I yanked her behind me. "Stay down," I said, crowbar steady. Police burst in, shouting. "Drop the weapon." I set the crowbar down, hands up. Nathan was cuffed, cursing. Gregory tried to talk his way out, but the lead officer wasn't buying it. "Gregory Langston, you're under arrest." Renee collapsed, sobbing. I didn't look at her. Cops swarmed, taping off the server room. I gave my statement: Renee's affair, the sabotage systems, Gregory's corporate coup. Renee sat in a corner, silent, broken. She tried to speak. "Jason, I walked away." Her words were static. 12 years and she'd betrayed me with Ricky Stanton. No apology could debug that. Days later, the fallout hit. Gregory's arrest dominated Boise: news fraud, bribery, money laundering. Nathan flipped, spilling everything for a plea deal. Renee faced charges: conspiracy, theft. Vince said she'd likely get probation, maybe a year. I didn't care. My systems were secure, most of my savings recovered. Rachel's evidence had sealed it. But the third twist came from Lisa, the whistleblower. She met me at a coffee shop, handed me a flash drive. "Renee's photos," she said. "The ones Gregory used to control her. I hacked his server. Your call." I stared at the drive. Part of me wanted to destroy it, let her past die. But the part that had fought for my legacy kept it locked in a safe. Not for revenge, but protection. Renee was gone, but I wasn't taking risks. Weeks passed. I didn't go back to Cascade. Instead, I got a call from Horizon Tech, a rising firm in Spokane. Their CEO, Tom Garrett, 56, wanted me to lead their systems division. I pitched my vision in their boardroom, my track record on display. Tom didn't blink. "Name your terms." I did $250, 0.007% equity, and a press release calling me the systems architect. He shook my hand. "Done." Cascade's board begged me to consult, offering a blank check. I met them in their headquarters, their faces desperate. "Jason, we need you," Dr. Benton pleaded. I smiled, tore their offer in half. "You had your chance," I said, walking out. The glass doors clicked shut, final. Renee sent an email a month later, tear-stained words. "I was lost," she wrote. "I'm sorry." I read it once, deleted it. Sorry didn't restore trust. Sorry didn't erase Ricky's smirk or Gregory's crowbar. I'd rebuilt my life stronger. That was enough. Horizon launched my division, contracts flooding in. I bought a new place, modern, overlooking Boise's skyline. Rachel and I grabbed drinks sometimes, her sharp humor a quiet spark. Not love, not yet, but a start. But late at night, when the city hummed below, I'd see that crowbar in my hand, feel the weight of what I'd become. Was I a hero? A survivor or just a man who refused to crash? I don't have the answer. Maybe you do. Did I do right turning my back on Renee's plea, or should I have offered her redemption one last time? What's justice when trust's been hacked to pieces? Like what you heard, hit that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to Viora, because the next story might just be your favorite one yet.